We're building the Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland and to protect West Point from attack. And it will be completed before I leave office. And, you know, you wouldn't think this, but our enemies are very unhappy about it. We're doing it because we want to be around for a long time.
President Trump talking about his plans for a new missile defense system during Saturday's commencement at West Point. Joining us tonight is President, Chairman, and CEO of Lockheed Martin, Jim Taiclet, to talk about the so-called Golden Dome and other things. Jim, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you, Brett.
As you hear that and the prospect of it, how do you see it forming, and what does that entail?
Well, it's a fantastic vision to protect the country and all of us in it. And I think if you just step back and break it down for a minute, it's easy to understand where we're headed here. First of all, you're trying to stop a drone or a missile attack against our citizens. And there's three activities that you need to make sure happen to stop a missile hitting this country. One is you got to see it coming. And the space-based sensors and satellites that we have today and new ones that we'll put up in the future help with that. Also, air-based, sea-based, and ground-based radars will see the incoming, attack and be able to, provide information as to where it's at. The second thing is you got to identify and track the threat to determine the action that you're going to do to defeat it. And that requires command and control systems that are pretty sophisticated. We're going to need to expand those widely and enable them with AI to make them all more capable. And the last thing you got to do, obviously, is disable or destroy the incoming missile or drone. And we use ground, sea, and air-based missiles to do that today. But in the future, we're going to use lasers, directed electrical energy, and cyber options as well.
Here's the Space Force General Michael Gutlein talking about the threats.
Our adversaries have been quickly modernizing their nuclear forces, building out ballistic missiles capable of hosting multiple warheads, building out hypersonic missiles capable of attacking the United States within an hour and traveling at 6,000 miles an hour, building cruise missiles that can navigate around our radar and our defenses, building submarines that can sneak up on our shores, and worse yet, building space weapons.
So, I mean, hypersonic missiles alone, that's a new threat that you have to adapt for. Are we ready for that now?
Yes, we are ready for it now, and we'll be able to use the Golden Dome concept to make sure the country is increasingly protected against hypersonic threats. Right now, that we can use a Patriot missile system along with the radar systems that we have today to take out those kinds of threats. That's happened in Russia a number of times, in Ukraine, I should say, against Russian hypersonic missiles. So it's a doable technology, but it's going to keep getting better and better, and so will we have to get better and better at defeating them.
So Reuters says the president, a new data point is $175 billion for the design, but the question remains over what time period. It's probably 10 years. Quoting an expert there, the CBO estimates that Golden Dome could cost as much as $831 billion over 2 decades. That's always the question, is how much is it going to cost and how long is it going to take?
Well, Brett, the U.S. government's going to figure out the priorities they have and the timing that they will want to have those priorities accomplished. So there's really 3 things you got to consider there. One is, what's the geography you're trying to protect? What's the location and what's the area of that geography? What types of attacks are you trying to protect against? Is it drones, small drones, large ones, hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles? Which of those types of attacks, or all of them, do you want to protect that geography? And then they may designate specific systems and weapons that they want to use for some of those solutions. But basically, it's going to have to be done over time. And industry's role in all of this is to take that government priority list and provide information on the technical and industrial feasibility and the cost of actually rolling that out.
All right. So, I mean, it could be a sliding scale depending on a lot of different factors.
That's exactly right.
But when it comes to you all, for the GAO, this is another project, but the F-35, they say, will now exceed $2 trillion as the military plans to fly it less. So what happened there? Why was the F-35 so troubled? And is it an example of a kind of bloated and broken procurement system at the Pentagon?
Yeah. So the way that the F-35 program was originally constructed made it complex. It was one aircraft base design, but 3 variants of that base design. One to land on aircraft carriers, another to do assisted takeoff and vertical landing, and a third to do regular runway landing. So that made it complex at the beginning. There were industrial partners around the world that were participating, so they were going to contribute equipment and also buy the airplane. So it's got a complex arrangement, but actually, in the end of the day, if you ask the air forces that are flying it and the ones that continue to order it, it is the most effective fighter aircraft in the world today, along with the F-22, of course, which is U.S. only. And so at the end of this, we will have a successful program. It will be expensive because there's going to be 3,500 of these built on the program if it goes to completion over many, many years. It's going to fly until the 2080s and have to be sustained till then. And that's how those numbers add up. We are working really hard with the government to try to reduce the cost of production and sustaining the
for
plane.
somebody who doesn't understand that procurement process and how many eyeballs are on the project, if they make one change, one thing is changed. It's like a change order when you are building a house, right?
That's exactly right.
And it increases the cost and spans out the time. Is that fair?
It is very fair, yes.
And is that what happened?
In a lot of cases, yes. And there's a lot of inputs to the requirements of the F-35, including modernizing it. It's a complex thing to do, but pretty satisfactory outcomes. The acquisition process should be streamlined, frankly. I've been in this.
But as we get ready for this Golden Dome project, which sounds just massive, isn't that going to be a major issue?
Well, it could be. But I do think that the Golden Dome project is the perfect example to move to a new style of acquisition program, one where the government puts out those broad requirements I just talked about. In this time frame, how can we protect these locations with this size of area the most efficiently and effectively? And let industry come with a numerous set of answers instead of to specific technical requirements. Let us get together with not only just the aerospace and defense companies that are the typical contractors, but with the large tech companies. We've got alliances with Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, and others, and also startups and new entrants. So let us all solve the problem either together or individually and provide some answers, and then have the government pick from those answers.
Well, it'll be fascinating. We appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Glad to do it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.